The last bit of stain that I did or dyeing is all dry, and I'm going to go ahead and put the sealer coat on. Still have to make the flap that goes over, but other than that it's getting pretty close to being done. Here's how the knife fits. Okay, let's go ahead and put this sealer coat on. I actually probably should have done this surface before I sewed it together. I think this is like a latex base sealer. Almost knocked that over there. I'm going to set this on something so it doesn't set on the newspaper wet. Okay, I'll just let that dry now. And I'll go ahead and clean this off with water again. Well, the sealer is dry, so I'm going to go ahead and go over the edges with this burnishing rod and go ahead and polish up the surface with an old sock I've got over here. This gives all the exposed edges a nice finish. It does just like it did on the other piece. It presses down and holds in place all the looser pieces of leather fuzz. And I'm just going to use an old sock here to kind of polish up the rest of it. If there was any excess on it, it's going to take it off. Okay, that looks pretty nice. One spot I didn't get was inside here that well. Put the knife in it. Okay, the only other thing that's left is the flap to go over, so I'll still have to figure out what shape it's going to be, stain it, seal it, everything, so it'll take a little bit. Well, the knife case is basically made. We still need to make the strap that goes over the back, so we're entering the home stretch here. So what I like to do is, since I'm going to make this just on the fly, I'm going to figure out how to make it. I like to make it out of a piece of cardboard, and I just make it as a template. And what I found is really good is just cereal box material. Here's a Cheerios box, and I'm just going to cut a piece off here that's about the right width, and then I'm going to mark it and refine it. I may end up having to make 2 or 3 of these before I get to the final design, but it's pretty easy. So I'm just going to take a pencil here, and it's going to be about this wide. I'm just making a little wider than these snaps, and that's going to be the widest point, so I'm just going to mark on here that width. Once we get finished making the cardboard template, we can cut a piece of leather to match. So let's put the knife back in, and I'm going to put that on there like that, and I'm going to fold it around. Since this one's straight, I don't have to really make the cardboard wider. Let me show you this other one as an example. Well, I guess that's not that good of an example, but you notice how this curves. Mine's not going to require that much of a curve now, because this one kind of came off from the side and over. This one's almost going to come from the top and around, so it's almost a flat curve. So I'm going to cut this off about here. Getting closer. And then I'm going to mark where this is at, and I'm going to want to have it curving. Actually, I'm going to have it curve from about here. What I want is something that looks similar to this. Cut that out and just see what it looks like, and we can make another one easily enough. So this is the part where we're refining. You want to make your curves pleasant, not angled, unless of course that's your intention. So that's what that looks like at this point. Let's try it again. It's not bad, except this might need to be a little bit wider. And I can see it needs to go over this way a little more. So I'm going to take and make another one. Except this time, I'm going to make this a little wider. Cut that one out and see what it looks like. looking pretty good. A little too wide on this side. And this tab's going to have to be long enough that we can grab a hold of it. Or we, I should say, I or you. That's looking pretty good. This tab might be a little long, but I think I'm going to leave it. Let's take a look at this one. This one I just made by laying it out and just doing it. At least I've got kind of a guide to make on this next one. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and cut out a piece of leather to match this.